everyone. Welcome to the Poet Code. Today, I wanted to read you all a very special chapter in a very special book. Left an impression on me. The book is titled Jesus by Khalil Gibran. And basically, I'll just let the chapter speak for itself, and then we'll have a little discussion. All right. This one's titled Mary Magdalene, page 12. It was in the month of June when I saw him for the first time. He was walking in the wheat field when I passed by with my handmaidens, and he was alone. The rhythm of his step was different from other men's, and the movement of his body was like naught I had seen before. Men do not pace the earth in that manner, and even now I do not know whether he walked fast or slow. My handmaidens pointed their fingers at him and spoke in shy whispers to one another, and I stayed my steps for a moment and raised my hand to hail him, but he did not turn his face, and he did not look at me, and I hated him. I was swept back into myself, and I was as cold as if I had been in a snowdrift, and I shivered. That night I beheld him in my dreaming, and they told me afterward that I screamed in my sleep and was restless upon my bed. It was in the month of August that I saw him again through my window. He was sitting in the shadow of the cypress tree across my garden, and he was as still as if he had been carved out of stone, like the statues in Antioch and other cities of the North Country. And my slave, the Egyptian, came to me and said, "That man is here again. He is sitting there across your garden." And I gazed at him, and my soul quivered within me, for he was beautiful. His body was single, and each part seemed to love every other part. And then I clothed myself with raiment of Damascus, and I left my house and walked towards him. Was it my aloneness, or was it his fragrance that drew me to him? Was it a hunger in my eyes that desired comeliness, or was it his beauty that sought the light of my eyes? Even now I do not know. I walked to him with my scented garments and my golden sandals, the sandals the Roman captain had given me, even these sandals. And when I reached him, I said, "Good morrow to you." And he said, "Good morrow to you, Miriam." And he looked at me, and his night eyes saw me as no man had seen me. And suddenly I was as if naked, and I was shy. Yet he had only said, "Good morrow to you." And then I said to him, "Will you not come to my house?" And he said, "Am I not already in your house?" I did not know what he meant then, but I know now. And I said, "Will you not have wine and bread with me?" And he said, "Yes, Miriam, but not now." "Not now? Not now," he said. And the voice of the sea was in those two words, and the voice of the wind and the trees. And when he said them unto me, life spoke to death. For mind you, my friend, I was dead. I was a woman who had divorced her soul. I was living apart from this self which you see now. I belonged to all men and to none. They called me harlot, and a woman possessed of 7 devils. I was cursed, and I was envied. But when his dawn eyes looked into my eyes, all the stars of my night faded away, and I became Miriam, only Miriam, a woman lost to the earth she had known, and finding herself in new places. And now again I said to him, "Come into my house and share bread and wine with me." And he said, "Why do you bid me to be your guest?" And I said, "I beg you to come into my house." Cat. All right. Kat is joining us for the continuation of the reading. Oh my. Okay. Bit of a tussle going on. All is well. Maya, just stay back. Okay, we got to finish the reading. Well, okay, how exciting. And it was all that was sought in me, and all that was sky in me calling unto him. And then he looked at me, And the noontide of his eyes was upon me, and he said, You have many lovers, and yet I alone love you. Other men love themselves in your nearness. I love you in yourself. Other men see a beauty in you that shall fade away sooner than their own years. But I see in you a beauty that shall not fade away. And in the autumn of your days, that beauty shall not be afraid to gaze at itself in the mirror, and it shall not be offended. I alone love the unseen in you. And then he said in a low voice, Go away now. If this cypress tree is yours, and you would not have me sit in its shadow, I will walk my way. And I cried to him, and I said, Master, come to my house. I have incense to burn for you, and a silver basin for your feet. You are a stranger, and yet not a stranger. I entreat you, come to my house. And then he stood up and looked at me, even as the seasons might look down upon the field, and he smiled, and he said again, All men love you for themselves. I love you for yourself. And then he walked away. But no other man ever walked the way he walked. Was it a breath born in my garden that moved to the east? Or was it a storm that would shake all things to their foundations? I knew not. But on that day, the sunset of him eyes slew the dragon in me, and I became a woman. I became Miriam, Miriam of Mijdel. So that's the reading. And I think it's very beautiful. It's rare to find literature like this in contemporary writings. I have found um, talking about love between man and a woman, but talking about it in a way that seems to be coming from a non-dual perspective or an awakened perspective. I was watching a video, this non-dual guru guy, and he was talking about how when we get into spirituality and stuff and all the love and compassion stuff, we can become blind to our own stuff. And we think we're being loving and kind to another person, but really we're being selfish, and we're kind of blinding ourselves from a part of ourselves. We're thinking, oh, I'm going to love and care for this person, and we're completely oblivious to some repressed emotional material, some ulterior motives that are going on within us. And I think my answer to that dilemma is to simply ask, is what I'm doing going to help make the other person happy? Is it going to add joy to their life, or is it going to hurt them in the long run? Is there going to be pain because of my actions? If yes, then stop and do something else, because whatever good intentions I might have for another human, if in my heart I know that what I'm doing is going to hurt them or cause some kind of harm, then I need to stop. It's more important to not hurt another person than to live up to the good guy, the virtuous guy, the compassionate guy identity structure. That's useless. Being a good guy, being a nice guy, a compassionate guy, who cares? I mean, honestly, I don't want to be a good person. I want to live moment by moment, doing as little harm as possible and helping as many people as possible. But I have no interest in having that identity of, hey, I'm a saint, I'm a great guy, because it leads to what we've been talking about. So in the story, Miriam is clearly madly in love with Jesus, and she wants to hang out with him. But Jesus has the knowledge and the foresight to realize that that's not what she needs, and maybe not what he needs. I don't know, but he can see that that course of action is going to lead to just more harm and more damage. That she needs something a little more spiritual to fill her heart. That you know she's been hanging out with a lot of dudes. She's a little bit of a harlot. She likes to run around town. She likes to maybe party a little bit. No judgment there. But Jesus is smart enough to be like, that's not gonna make you happy. And he wants her to be happy. Fundamentally speaking, I do believe that. I think Jesus wants Miriam to be happy here. So he's explaining that he's like, I love something about you that is you. It is the I am, the deepest sense of your being. I'm not interested in the physical appearance or whatever companionship is going on. It's like there is a you within you that is so real to me that I'm going to act in a way that honors that and protects it. And I'm going to disregard whatever altruistic, helping other people stuff, right? A lot of people think Jesus was like a little helper, just helping everybody. Well, I guess he wasn't helping people where he thought it would hurt them, you know? Sometimes we can try to help other people because we think it's good for them, and it turns out to not be good for them and it hurts them. And we're like, well, I know what's right for you. I'm so smart. I have all the answers. And we end up just hurting the people we love because we care about them. We have good intentions and it backfires. And so how often does that happen? That's incredible. I'm just looking at the time, 11 minutes. Okay, I'm probably going to wrap it up soon. So the best part of the reading, do you want to come up again, baby? The best part of the reading is clearly like, I love you for the unseen in you. He understands that she has a value that is beyond anything that she can offer to a man or anyone else. That there's something. So he's seeing that oneness in all creation, all consciousness. Even Gray Stripe here has that spark of God inside of her. And so I love Gray Stripe because of just who she is, the unseen within her. There's an unseen force to Gray Stripe that is pure and beautiful and touched by God. And so that's one reason to love all living things, all creation, it's all touched by the unseen. And I love when Jesus says, other men love you because they love themselves. They want to make themselves happy. They want to feel pleasure themselves, and they don't love you. The direct experience of that, whatever that is, the soul, this deep I am. And sometimes we get into spirituality and we think we're connecting to that oneness and we try to help other people, but it's all about helping another person as if they were you. And there's no separation. There becomes no boundary where it's like, of course, I don't want to hurt myself. Hurting other people just feels like hurting yourself because you feel that oneness of creation, of beingness, of aliveness with all things. Now, of course, we humans, we can be clumsy and we hurt each other more often than not. We do say things and do things that hurt each other. But really, all we have to do when that happens is forgive. Forgive ourselves, forgive other people, let it go, move on. What's awesome about everything I'm talking about is it's all happening now. The I am is a now phenomenon. It didn't happen before this video. It's not going to happen after the video. It's a completely now thing. So we can always let go. We can always forgive. It's always an option. It's always available because it's always here. It's always like this. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. I really love this book written by Khalil Gibran. Yeah. I think the full title is Jesus, the Son of Man. Yeah, Jesus, Son of Man. I don't know if you can see that there. Oh man, the cat's on the microphone. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you all in the next reading or talk or poetry video or whatever. All right, bye. I'm not going to get up right now because I have a cat, but soon.